Hi, how are you?
Hi, I am good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, thank you for taking the time to meet up with me today. Um, I'm just going to ask you some questions. Feel free to skip anything you're not comfortable with answering, and just letting you know that I will be recording this interview, but it will only be seen by me and my professor to mark my assignment for my university class. Will that be okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. So, could you start by just telling me a little bit about who you are?
So I am Afaf Al Kawasmi. I live in the West Bank in Hebron, and I go to Polytechnic University and I study languages. And I will be talking about my nephew Abud, or you can call him Abdul too.
Alright, so your nephew Abdul. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
So my nephew is 7 years old right now, and he still have he's still struggling to speak. Um, he never pronounced any word since he was young, like since born. And
Mm-hmm.
until today, we're trying to um, um, find the best way to diagnose his disability and um, help him to speak.
So, was he not tested or diagnosed?
No, unfortunately, that's um, like we've been to many doctors and centers. Each doctor has a different theory. Some suggested ADHD or autism or other stuff, but none of them could give us like a solid diagnosis because
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't fully match any category to be diagnosed with. He has a few symptoms from different areas, but it's never like enough to fit one. Um, Neurologically, biologically, and mentally, and everything appears normal. His hearing is perfect. His brain responses are normal. Behaviorally, he behaves like most kids. He's very smart. Um, but he has a problem that he still cannot speak even though he tries, but nobody can name this problem.
Oh, I see. And so, when did you first start to notice um, signs with difficulty of speech with Abdul?
So we started noticing like those signs when he first, like when he was around 2 or 3 years old. At that age, most children start to form words or like at least sounds, but he was not doing that. He would make like tones instead of words. Like if he's trying to say something, but he can't like form the full sound. But what's interesting is that he understands everything around him. Like he would look at us when we call his name. He responds to instructions. He interacts socially. So the issue is not his awareness or understanding, but it's just like he cannot speak. He cannot pronounce the words even though he knows like
Mm-hmm.
those words and he understands them. So we realized that this is like it's not a normal delay and that something else was going on.
Mm-hmm. And what about like other um behavior related concerns, like maybe milestones a normal child would usually
Um,
hit? Like,
mm,
did
like
he, how early, did you notice any difficulties with anything else? Like, how early he started walking or eating or
when
socially interacting with other people?
Yeah, well, not really. This is the part of the confusion, actually. Like he's socially aware, he makes eye
Mm-hmm.
contact, he plays with the kids normally, he engages with all the world around him, he explores and he's very intelligent. He has many hobbies as well. And he also shows like emotional connection. He knows who treats him kindly. He knows like how to react according to the situation. There wasn't any signs of like isolation or disconnection, like how like you might expect in autism. He actually communicates in his own way through like tones and expressions. He understands everything that we say to him. So like the developmental side is very strong, just like any other kid, or maybe even smarter. Um, but it's mostly the expressive speech that got affected only.
I see. So you mentioned that he communicates in his own way. Could you describe like a situation or a scenario where like maybe you first started noticing that?
So at first we thought that like he just has like a little delay in speaking, but then after that we're like putting the effort to teach him, and um where like for example if he watches someone do something once he can copy it or he can do it later, even if it's a complex action. Like for example when we're making cookies, he knows exactly the ingredients of cookies and he can just prepare them on the table by himself. He knows how to open the door with the keys. He knows how to follow routes outside the house, like if he's going to a certain place that's like in the neighborhood or something. Um, he also like observes people's emotions and like um, he reacts to them, to what's appropriate to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone is upset, he notices. If someone teases him, or he understands that too. He likes to play creatively. He builds things. He has like very strong preferences.
So he shows lots of signs of
Y-
intelligence.
Yes, he does.
And how old is he again?
He's only 7 right now.
Oh wow, so he's young.
Yes, he's still young.
Yeah. And you mentioned again that he communicates in his own way. Could you just give me maybe a scenario where you notice that he communicate maybe how he communicates with maybe does he use like gestures, sounds, maybe sign language? Does he know sign language?
He does not speak sign language, no, but he tries to um, uses sounds. It's kind of a mix of everything. He tries everything he can to give us the point that he wants us to understand. But
Mm.
he did not learn sign language yet, and he does not even go to school.
Oh, so how come he doesn't go to school? Could you share that with me?
Well, we um we live in the West Bank, and in such like a third world country, it's not easy to find schools that would like accept his situation, because the schools in those areas, they are not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do they not have enough
um,
like resources?
no, they do not. We tried every single like school around us, every single school in town, but um, he was never accepted because he cannot speak and because they do not have the right people to interact with him. So in other ways that like school sees him as like a, a trouble or as um, something extra or like as a
Oh,
heavy
wow.
weight. They do not have enough resources to treat him and to take care of him professionally.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So, can he write or can he recognize any sort of text maybe? Or
He recognizes shapes and colors, especially the main ones.
mhm.
But um, for writing, he did not. Um, lately, we're trying to give him the extra care to try to teach him, but it has been so hard, as I said, because uh, to go to a center that knows how to deal with a case such an Abdul, we have to go from a city to another, and that's like a
Oh,
day or
wow.
two. Even when we're trying to go like to doctors to try to diagnose him, every time we hear about a doctor, we have to go from like a city to another. So there isn't like centers or places to help us um,
Mhm.
understand how to deal with him better, but he knows like the shapes, he knows the colors. He does not know the letters because he cannot pronounce them. Like if there's like a B or C, he cannot even pronounce the letter. He might be able to say the sound of some words, but not the letter, and that makes it so hard to teach him writing.
So he is completely mute.
Yes, he does not speak at all.
All right. And so what about his social life? Does him not going to school like impact his social life?
Well, he does have like um in some ways um I mean like children in his age they don't like understand why he does not speak or why does he like um interacts differently. So misunderstanding of course happens a lot.
Mhm.
Um but he has like siblings and cousins. Um, we like try to um, see like daycares. He used to go to daycares when he was younger, but they do not accept him for his age anymore because he's 7 years old and he cannot speak. And he's a troublemaker too. So it's very hard for them to control. So daycares stopped accepting him as well. But at the same time, um, he has brothers and cousins, and we live in a small neighborhood where kids play in the streets. So he does have some social interaction. He does have uh, a social life with people who love him and with kids who love to play with him. But whenever we meet someone new, a misunderstanding must happen because it's very hard to communicate with him. And even if he knows sign language, in the country that we live in, not many people know sign language at all.
So does he you so you said he doesn't speak actual sign language, but does he have his own like signs?
He does have some signs, yes.
Some
He
signs,
has
yes.
some sounds too,
So
where
it's
like,
not the actual taught sign language, he just makes them up?
well, kind of both. Like he has some sounds where if he makes a certain sound, like I would know what he wants because it's just like we created our own language together.
Mm-hmm.
Some signs he makes where um, I understand that he wants a certain thing, but yeah, exactly. Like we just don't have. He did not learn sign language, but
So,
of course we have our own language together.
so he does not sign with his hands.
No, he
And the
barely does.
sign you're talking about, is that like just vocal sounds?
It's a mix of both, but it's more vocal sounds. Yes.
Mm, all right. And you mentioned how it's very difficult to see healthcare professionals who are certified to deal with his case. So I'm just wondering, what type of doctors is he able to see with his situation?
So so far, we like we checked his hearing. He had a full hearing test.
Mm-hmm.
Everything came back like completely normal. And it was important because a lot of speech issues come from hearing problems. He also had neurological evaluation. There was no sign of structural or developmental issue in the brain at all. A speech therapist evaluated him, but they could not diagnose him because he doesn't like produce enough different sounds for them to measure. Uh, I'm sorry, I had to just stop for a little bit.
Oh, no
Um,
problem. No problem at
so
all.
a speech therapist evaluated him, but they couldn't diagnose him because, as I said, he does not like produce enough sounds for them to measure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we also did behavioral assessment. He scored very well in those. Um, he responds to his name, he follows instruction, he shows emotion, he's socially present as well as I like explained. So medically and developmentally, like everything is good, except that he does not, he cannot express language. In the past month, he have been going to like physiotherapy where they do like massages for his mouth and they try to have him teach him how to move his tongue to pronounce letters. We're hoping for that to happen, but we still don't understand the reason why he does not speak yet at 7 years old.
All right. Well,
Yep.
how often do you see Abdul?
Well, we live actually in the same house.
So
He
you're
lives in
very
his grand.
familiar with his behavior?
I'm sorry.
So you're very familiar with his behavior?
Yes. So since he was um 5 years old, so in the past 2 years, um, we're living in the same house. Me, my sister Abdul, and my parents. Um, so
So, going back to the school topic, you mentioned he is a troublemaker. So, what type of problems would he get into? Was it due to um like misunderstandings, or more of behavior, like emotionally
yeah, I
overwhelming?
understood. So the type of troubles are mostly because kids are not understanding him. We don't see in our schools we don't see much disabilities like Abdul. So when they see someone who cannot speak, it's something that's new to their environment. So misunderstandings happen between the kids, and teachers are like taught how to teach, but they were never taught how to deal with such situations where there is like a disability, and how to have the kids understand this.
I see. And how do you think did him not going to school or his life obviously being different from other kids his age, whether like when he goes to play with the kids in the neighborhood or sees his cousin, how do you think that affects his like day-to-day life or him emotionally?
Well, um, he always, um, as I said, like he's still young. He does not um, understands why, like, um, what, like, types of different relationships. So he does not understand why he does not go to school yet, but he's always waiting to grow up and go to school. He understands that he has friends and he spends time with them and he enjoys with them, but he's still pretty young. He's not old enough to start to comprehend um, that he did not get accepted in school because of his disability, or that his disability is putting lines for him to explore other stuff in life.
And well, did you ever experience any behavioral issues, maybe like anger or breakdowns or anything of
Well,
that sort?
when he was 2 to 3 years old, of course,
Mhm.
there was lots of breakdowns and anger issues, and he would only communicate through screaming and so on. But as he grew older, it became less and less. Um, Sometimes, like between us as a family, me, him, my sister, and his grandparents, we barely face situations where he cannot um, get to his point, so he starts screaming and he goes in a mental breakdown. But if he's playing with new kids who don't understand his disability, and they um, like cannot be um, they are like not aware of what's going on and they don't know how to treat him, that's where we see the anger issues and him trying to like express himself through like screaming, and sometimes maybe um, like breaking stuff, or like just like
Mhm.
having a mental breakdown.
And when did you notice that these anger or behavioral issues start to maybe lessen or even stop? Have they stopped?
They have never stopped, but they become less, because when he was younger, it was very hard for us also to understand him, and um, it was also a little bit of like a difficult family situation where his mother did not accept him as well, as like his disability started to show. So the kids, this had an effect on the kid, but
Mhm.
after he grew up a little bit more, we started to understand how to communicate better with him, and how to make sure that he gets the best support that we can give him.
And are his, if you don't mind me asking, so are his parents still in the picture?
Um, his parents are still kind of in the picture. Um, like um, when he was very young, um, his parents just loved him like um, any child. But this is like the painful part of the story that he lives with his grandparents because when the disability started to show around like maybe age of 3, um, where like he was still not able to speak at all, his mother slowly started to reject him. When he was a baby, she was okay with him, as I mentioned, but she has like other children, and right now he does not get treated from her just like his other siblings. When he grew up, like as he grew up and like the delay became more obvious, she started distancing herself, not just the mother, but also the father. It was at first small things from his parents, like avoiding talking to him or like spending less time with him,
Mm-hmm.
and then it started to develop until like them like his parents refusing to give him um like the extra help and attention that he needs. So right now like he lives with his grandparents because um me and his other auntie and his grandparents are the one who are providing the care for him. And it is like the heartbreaking part that his parents are accepting and loving to all of their children except of
Mm-hmm.
him, and
Yeah, definitely.
it's not his fault to have a disability.
I'm so sorry to hear that. And he's only 7 years old.
Yes.
Yes, that is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they come to better terms with it over time.
Yeah, we hope.
So, do you ever, do you think that he's able to see that part of his life? Or do you still think he's too young to understand or comprehend it? And if he is, how do you see it affecting him? Maybe emotionally, or even how does it change his behavior?
Okay. So, like, when his parents come over, mostly like every 2 to 3 days, he constantly tries to like get his parents' attention whenever he sees them. He used to ask for his parents at first, but then now he does not like as much. He just got used to it more. When they come over, um, he goes to his parents, like he hugs them. He makes sounds to get them to notice him, but most of the time he gets ignored a lot. Like they don't take him out with when they do. They don't ask about him. Um,
Oh my
they
god.
rarely spend like quality time with him, and he feels rejected because even like he is still 7 years old, but he can feel his parents even if he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have the words to say it.
Yes, of course.
Um, he knows that something is wrong, that he can like you can see it in his eyes and in his behavior. So like he tries so hard for like his parents approval, but they're not accepting him the way they're accepting their other children.
Oh my. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that. So, that being said, what's the biggest concern that you have for his future? Especially in like a society like the one you're in right now, where he's not very included, he doesn't have his own community.
Yes, so the the most thing that I would be worried about for his um future would be him not getting a diagnosis to understand how to deal with his situation better. Also, him not getting the proper education that he deserves, not getting a job that he deserves, not being able to reach his goals like his peers and the people in his age. Um, we um
Because
we
you
do
did.
try to go to sorry, we do try to go to like communities and places where he can get some activities done, but it's never enough because we need to understand this child before we know if the treatment that we're giving him is right or wrong.
Yeah, because you did mention that he is pretty intelligent. So he obviously deserves so much better than what he's been given. And do you think he would still um do well with his intelligence level when compared to maybe his peers? Like, I maybe not in speaking, but do you think maybe something related to mathematics, for example?
Yes, so he does know the numbers. He already very intelligent in math. He knows how to plus, he knows how to minus. Like according to his age, he's doing more than well. I believe that if he did not get diagnosed, if he was never able to speak, of course, he will face so many struggles in his way up. But I still believe that um, life would open many doors for him and he will get other chances in life to succeed in so many things because even if one thing was taken away from you, we can figure a way to reach to the goals and to reach to the dreams, and to reach to whatever he's aiming for,
Mm-hmm.
with all the difficulties that are facing the way.
That sounds like a very good mindset to have. You know, it's very positive, very open, and that's the kind of mindset you want to have in your situation and in every situation, really. Thank you so much for meeting with me, FF. I really
Thank you.
appreciate taking time out of your day.
Thank you. I really appreciate that as well.